into the last 4. Well, so far, almost all of the cases have actually been salvageable, which is a lot better than I thought it was going to be from what the pictures were. I can't believe that's going to stay true all the way to the end. But, you know, as the Beach Boys said, wouldn't it be nice? Take this damn thing off. There we go. Alright. Well, good news is the screws are coming out relatively easily. I do have a DC regulated power supply here. So what I'm thinking I'm going to end up doing is plugging these boards directly into that, setting it to 110 and you know, just standard outlet voltage there, and see how it goes from there. I think that's going to be the easiest way with, so I might be able to test some of these boards without the actual power supply, but I'm not going to hold my breath either. I'm not going to hold my breath. Alright, moment of truth. Pretty filthy. Pretty filthy. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking down here at this cartridge slot and the bend right here, which is really just the bend right here. And that's what prevents the American games from actually going in there. And I'm just looking at that and seeing how easy it would be to mod it and make it, you know, look decent. I don't want it to look like complete crap. I'd like to do some honor to the system and keep it looking good. That did not feel good. It looks like it's fine, but that felt like something busted real bad there. Again, it looks fine. It just didn't feel like it should be. Ah, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'm learning, as you've probably noticed, to do that while it's face up, not face down, because then this is all still easy to get out, and you don't have this power strip go all over the place. So, or a power dot, as it were. All right. Oh crap! It's going everywhere. I can't control it. It's out of control. Talk about out of control. This is out of control. Alright. This is nasty. With a capital N. Yeah, I really do need to find a way to test the CPUs to figure out whether they're good or not. What I'm really disappointed in, and this is something that, you know, I shouldn't be disappointed in, but I am, is that so far every one of these has been removable. I really don't like that. The only reason it might be good is if I can take a system that's dead and needs another port and Oops, that's the wrong pile. Okay, there we go. And change it so that it has the adaptable one. But at the end of the day, a lot of the trouble I've had, more than anything else, is finding. That's kind of stuck on there. Oh, because there's 2 screws that are so covered in dust I can't see them. That's nice. Ugh. Just ugh. Oh, God. I'm going to need to clear my entire desk off here by the time I'm done. My entire desk. Yeah, I mean, just desolder and resolder that whole thing. That's the answer to that. And it's an answer I'm completely fine with. If it'll fit. The problem is a lot of the release mechanisms won't fit then. So I'd have to mod the release mechanism to fit, or I guess I could just use the other case. But you know, it's just one of those things that I like to keep the system as original as possible. If I'm gonna mod it so it'll play multiple regions, sure, I understand that that's, you know, kind of doing the opposite of what I'm saying there, but it's in order to encourage people to use it. Like there is a reason behind that. And I guess I could justify this in the same way in my own head, but I have no idea what that is and where it came from. That actually makes me kind of nervous because I really don't know what that is. Huh, it hasn't been on any of the others. Hasn't been on any of the others. Weird. Well, so be it. What am I doing? I'm doing crazy stuff. Alright, before I forget this time, let's just do this. Take care of that. Oh, God. Yeah, that's busted off of there. The fortunate thing is, I think that might be renewable. Maybe. Maybe not. I'll look at that. I may be able to fix that. That may be in the realm of fixable. I'll set that aside. I might be able to epoxy that on, is the idea. Although maybe what I'll do, well, that really wouldn't work either. I don't know. That's kind of a quandary. I'd hate to lose an entire case just because of something stupid like that, and I kind of refuse to lose an entire case over something stupid like that, because I feel like it's just a waste of the case. But at the same time, you know, we've gotten kind of lucky. There's only been one case that's really been toast, which is, from what I bought to what it's ended up being, I'd say that's a pretty good track record, but we'll see. Every time I forget that one. All right, well, that's a lot of dust. Ugh. 3 more. Let's see what we got. You ready? We're gonna do these in a row. I'm gonna swap this up a little bit and just do them all in a chunk and see what happens, just for fun. So I don't know what this is, so I'm going to set it up there in case we see another one. All this dust is getting to me, man. All this dust is getting to me. Alright, here we go. Here are the last ones. So, I don't know what that is. You know, the thing is, when you turn these things over and you see that stuff, you kind of don't want to know what it is. Like, do I really want to know what I'm touching here? No, probably not. Probably not. I'll be happy when I'm not touching it and it's all clean and bathed. Yep, and they're all SHVC001s. Now, I don't know, those are all the model numbers. They're all 1990 limited, but and I have a little surprise for you guys at the end, because, you know, this hasn't gone on long enough, right? Well, little extra bonus feature. Did not sleep the best last night, so I'm a little tired and the coffee is a little necessary. Normally I don't like drinking coffee this late in the afternoon, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Well, the cases here feel okay, so I don't think this is the actual lot that I bought from this guy. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't really bother me because I don't really think it mattered what lot I got. I mean, sure, one lot looked better than the next, but just judging from what we've seen already, first of all, the difference was $3. So, you know, we're not talking like $100 difference, and we're not talking a major difference. But what is interesting is that there were a couple more broken cases. So I did pick the one where the cases looked better in the pictures. However, they may not have been. There may have actually been like 2 more broken cases from what I saw in the pictures. And you may ask yourself, well, why did you get the ones with more broken cases? And the reason was, or at least the reason in my head at the time, whether it was right or not, was that if I got the ones with the broken cases, the rest of the cases looked better. So the good cases looked cleaner, they looked better, they looked like less work to de-yellow and all that good stuff. But if I could de-yellow all of these, get them all cleaned up, sure, they're going to be scratched. They're going to be used. That was always going to be the case. And even the good scratches are not that bad. The screen looked like it had 3, maybe, broken cases. I mean, the pictures look like they had maybe 3 broken cases. And here we've got one that's completely unusable, one that's cracked that I probably don't want to use, and then one that is, I might have to fix an inside pole. So that's really not a bad track record, because if you figure 3 of those in those pictures look like they probably couldn't be fixed, and the reason I'm really buying them is just so I can disassemble a whole bunch of Super Famicoms and see exactly what they're like, just so I can learn. You know, I probably would have found a couple other cases that were broken. So I think this may have ended up being the better deal. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good deal. Dropping screws. I'm not saying it's a good deal, but I am saying that of the deals that I could have gotten, this was probably one of the better ones. So yeah, that's obnoxious. This one right here just does not want to come loose on that corner, and that makes me concerned that that might be broken. It's either that or I just completely forgot to take it apart. Okay, no, it came out this time. Okay, that's fine. So there we go. There's one. All right. So what we're gonna do for this, since I'm doing this in slightly different ways, I'm going to take this off, this out. And set the base aside for the moment, so we'll go back in and deal with all this. I will disassemble the tops just so I have something to put all this stuff in when I'm disassembling real fast. And disassembling the tops is, as I said, even though it's hurting my fingers because of pinching this stuff, it is not that bad as far as it's not that bad. It's just kind of obnoxious. But at least it'll give me a place to put the rest of those and the rest of these. So this, what I'm doing is these are the parts that are kind of obnoxious to get. Alright, so the top for this is almost disassembled now. It really is killing me not knowing whether any of these power on or not. It really is driving me nuts. I really want to know. I really want to know. But there's just, there's just no way to know until I can actually plug it up and find out, which is, it's sort of disappointing, but just par for the course here. It's just what I signed up for. We'll find out the hard way. Yeah, this is a little corroded. Sorry about the shaking of the camera, but these are a little corroded. Ugh, they're very corroded. That's going to need some serious TLC. I feel like there's still one screw here that hasn't come out. No, it's all of them. Okay. All right, well. Not the worst we've seen yet. Mostly because we've seen a lot of really bad ones. Wait till you see my surprise. That actually feels like it's going to come out. Oh, yeah. That came out nice and easy. That was tactily really pleasant. Just popped right out. Sweet. See, like, look at this. A lot of these power things look really good. Like, a lot of these parts look really good. So, I mean, you never know, right? But I can't believe that out of all of this, we're not going to get one working Famicom. I mean, if I can't get one of these things to work out of the dozen, then I'd be really sad. That's why you never say that stuff. That right there is why you never say that stuff. Oh man, look at that. Look at the corrosion here. Look at the corrosion on the AV out. Yuck. I have a feeling my fiberglass pen is going to be doing extra work today trying to deal with this stuff. All right. But the top looks good. So, as parts go, it does look like there's a bunch of very legitimate parts strewn throughout here. Give me my bit back. I wanted to take my bit. Can't have that. Can't have that. Pardon that sound. That's my friend getting home, and he is opening his garage. So I'm gonna take all of these and put them in the bath because it's gonna have to go there anyway. All right, so here we go. Here's all three of these monstrosities. We'll just go left to right, I think, and disassemble these suckers, chuck them in the bath, and then be ready to clean all of it eventually. These things are nasty, though. They are really, really nasty. But, you know, to be fair, only 2 or 3 of these have been really that bad. Because if you think about how many we've done and what the state of these could have been like, they're for the most part not bad, and the few that are bad are probably going to match up to the bad cases. So at the end of the day, the likelihood is that probably 8 or 9 nice consoles can come out of this gigantic stack. That's my hope. If the boards work, then 8 or 9 nice consoles can come out of here. The corrosion is absolutely insane and utterly ridiculous, but that should be cleanable, I hope. Hopes are still high. Maybe foolishly high, but high nonetheless. I remain optimistic to the last. Maybe foolishly optimistic, maybe a fool, but optimistic to the last. So let's see. Just get all the power done real fast. And then get the rest of the shields off. And we'll get the sound cards off. Yeah, let's get the sound cards off. Alright, sound cards off. Ah. I heard something roll around in there, and I'm not looking forward to finding out what that was. But I suppose I'll have to sooner or later here. I'm kind of wondering if any of these cartridge slots are salvageable. I suspect at least one has to be. All of them, probably not, but at least one. Oh, that might be soldered onto the board. It'd be nice to have a couple more of the hard soldered ones. So hopefully the hard soldered ones are salvageable. If we just got 1 out of 12 and it's workable, I'll actually take that and be very happy with it. And these are still all SHVC boards, so it does indeed look like all of them are SHVC. Bathroom.
All right.
Look in the bathtub. All right, so last shield almost up. Let's see what's underneath that. Yep, SHVC. So they're basically, there's two that are not SHVC, but basically everything is an SHVC board, which from what I've seen, not including this, is the most common. I'm not going to complain about it. It's fine. I would have liked to have gotten something a little more interesting, but I think given buying this many from somebody who probably knew what they were doing, hoping to get anything exotic or rare would have been folly, and I wasn't really hoping for that. So yeah, we'll just suck it up as it is. Get this screw out. This is being a pain in the butts. One more heat shield to the pile. And oh no, that is not soldered to the board. It's just really, really corroded. That's unfortunate. That's nasty too. It's orange. So unless that's somebody spilling a bunch of orange food dye, that one's going to be really interesting. And it's not somebody spilling orange food dye. I can already tell you that. And you know what? I put that away without taking the top shield off, so gotta pull that back out. Let's go do that before I forget. And take out these before I forget these as well. Stubborn screw. Actually, what I'm going to do is take these cases, just get this out of here so I can consolidate. We'll do all of those at the same time. There's another broken rear pin. I thought that might be the case, but we'll find out. I think the case is still salvageable. Again, just epoxy that, call it a day. Might have to rework it a little bit. That's for a different day, namely the day that these go back together. Well, got a bunch of nice spare parts if none of these really are salvageable. That would be really unfortunate. That would be really unfortunate. Okay. All right. Last but not least. And from all the previous ones, I should just right now unscrew every one of the voltage regulators since I've successfully forgotten every time. I'm not going to, because I'm not smart like that, but I should. And yeah, that's what was expected. Let's just test this one right now. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So did not get any pins that were soldered to the board. I was really hoping to get at least one. That's kind of disappointing. But again, I don't know if that is something that happened on the Famicoms or not. So it could just be that the hard solder of the board was a late US model and never actually got released in Japan. I think that might be the case. I've done a little bit of research on this. I need to do more. These boards look identical. They're not labeled America or Japan, so I think they're the exact same boards for both countries. And since they've got the same region specs, just the physical cartridge block, I have a feeling that we're looking at effectively just a bunch of Super Nintendos slash Famicoms, rather, than just straight Famicoms. But when the power supply gets here, that will be the real tell, because if I plug it up and then we end up roasting marshmallows instead of playing games, then that was the wrong thing to do. I'll get marshmallows though. I will bring marshmallows. No reason to pass up the opportunity. Set something on fire, might as well take advantage of it. Alright. And then I promised an extra treat after that incredibly long run. The extra treat is 2 Super Nintendos. And these are extremely nasty. I really don't want to touch them. They're filthy. One of these cases is broken. This one. I have opened these up before I brought them to the workshop, and they are horrid. But at least I can show how to disassemble the top for a Super Nintendo, and it is way worse than a Famicom. Famicom's not that bad. Super Nintendo is a royal pain in the butts. It has so many more moving parts. I don't know why they did it. It just doesn't seem like it's good design. But it had to be over-engineered, I guess, for this. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. You can see all the extra screws, all the extra everything here. It's just not necessary, but they put it in anyway. So I guess I'll rip it out, and it might go back together. Just probably not. The bottom to this case has a busted screw hole, so that case bottom is toast. It would be kind of interesting, and it does actually seem like the bottoms to the cases are pretty much the same. So I'm wondering if those are interchangeable, and then we can have our little lone bastard Famicom Super Nintendo children here with a mix of both, but we'll see. That's act of desperation and my absolute last straw attempt if everything else fails. So that's actually kind of fascinating. I wonder what the I did not pay attention to exactly what the eject button looks like on the Famicoms. And looking at this, God, I think this one had soda spilled in it. But it smells worse than soda, so it might have been beer. Whatever it is. It doesn't smell good, and it doesn't look good. It's just really nasty. Really, really nasty. Clean up all the screws. But it does need a bath, no matter what. So there's that. Hey, even the ribbon cable needs a bath in this one. Ugh, God, that's nasty. Oof. This is stuff you just don't even want to touch. Yuck. Yeah, it does look like the plastic release levers are pretty close. I don't think they're the same, but they're pretty close. And then all of these screws on the inside are the same as the case screws. Remember, double check myself before I do something stupid. They are indeed, so then I'm just going to be able to take all of this apart. But you'll quickly see there's like 18 layers. The Famicom is peel the top off and you're good to go. This is Disassemble 800, really finicky little screws. Press a bunch of these plastic switches, pull a bunch of springs, and then maybe you actually have a functional top. Maybe. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense how much that was over-engineered. I guess theoretically it's more dynamic. That's a pretty big stretch for the theory. So we'll see. We shall see. Yep, there's this. As I'm sitting here talking about the springs, I'm still going to forget about them. Really smart. Really smart. Actually, there's an easier way to get it off. Yep, no, that's. I have taken a couple of these apart, and by a couple, I mean about 12 now. And the reason I was doing what I was doing, I forgot. I actually did have a reason for doing it. Okay. Get the... I should pull out my pliers to do this, but I'm way too lazy. So I'm going to spend a lot longer doing it the hard way. But it's also not as good. Okay. Next is chuck a dust bunny around. Anyway, I think all the flaps. I'm wondering if the flaps can be swapped out. Because if the flaps can be swapped out on a one-for-one basis, then you might be able to mod the Famicom really easily to just accept Super Nintendo. American Super Nintendo games, and that would be a pretty cool abomination if that were possible. These have a tendency to break on me, and I don't know whether it's because they have a proclivity to break, or whether it's because it looks like they're just crap. These little tabs suck. They are always breaking. And I don't know if that's common or just me manhandling it too much. I'll tell you in another 100. When I've been able to teach myself whether I'm an idiot or whether it's just bad design. Alright, it's one. The good news is I'll have a ton of screws. One way or the other. The bad news is everything works. They're going to have to find a home again. And that is going to be a long and drawn out process. Good grief. There's an extra screw here too. Like seriously, how many screws need to go onto the top of this? Famicom has one. Oh wait, does it? Yeah, it has one. It has one to hold the arm in. Everything else is screwless and just clip, 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 clip. Done. And not in one clip broke out of what, 72 clips? One clip broke. It just seems really silly. Really silly. Alright. We're almost there. Rip that out because that's going to have to come out anyway. My soldering iron is sitting there wanting to socialize. It's wandering out amongst the plastic. Oh, I see. So the reset button has a smaller, has smaller pins, so I think it's just getting caught up on that. I don't have a good way of doing that, do I? Oh, yeah. There's an easy way to do that. Okay. It's right there. Well, I'm lucky I didn't shoot myself in the eye with a spring, although that would have been entertaining. Just not for me. So, let's see. Yeah, I'm starting to think that's the third reset switch that just pushing the tabs in has broken the moment I push the tab in. So I think the tabs on the reset switches are just not that good. Because I'm not applying too much pressure with them. Unless you're supposed to apply pressure on the other side. They all break right there down at the base at the bottom. But, I don't know. Could just be me. It could just be me. Alright. So there we go. And that's got all that done. So now let's take this unbelievable nastiness off the bottom here. And then throw away the bases and never look at them again. Although I will try and clean this one because it looks salvageable. But hopefully the boards look okay and it's just the cases that look like crap. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah, everything once you get below the actual case, everything is the same between the Super Nintendo and the Famicom. So at least that's nice. That makes life a little bit simpler. It also means I can just chuck everything in the same spot and be happy. Which I'm a big fan of. I'm trying to figure out whether the front control ports are different though. I don't think so. The shielding's definitely the same. The sound cards are definitely the same. The boards are definitely the same. Hey, look, we're looking at another 2 SHBCs. So we're just going to see only SHBC today in all of its different incarnations. But there's something to be said for consistency, I guess. In this particular instance, I'm not sure what's to be said for that, unfortunately, but there's something to be said for it. The CPUs, I had a couple CPUs and one of them said A, one of them said B, and this says neither A or B. So I wonder what that difference is. Again, I'll look that up and see if I can figure out what that actually means. But nothing else, I have a bunch of extra parts for a bunch of extra sound cards. So that's cute. All that can go into the pile of broken Famicom shells. And then need to take this apart. And don't forget to take the voltage regulator off, like every single time. But at least I'm consistent. I'll put these boards elsewhere since they shouldn't go in the same box as the Famicom. I don't really care about the shielding or any of that stuff. That's all clearly the same, so it can go. Yeah, it can go. But this case is so nasty. I really can't wait to get it clean. Nothing else, so I don't have to touch it in its current state anymore, because it's nasty. All those Famicoms, every single one of them, full of dust and chock-a-block full of stuff, and none of them look like this bad. It's kind of an embarrassment to the person that owned this system, really. They should be ashamed of themselves. I guess the only good thing they did was get rid of this system and give it to somebody who ultimately cares about it a little bit more, namely me. And I will try to pass it along to somebody else who cares more about it than they did. And if they don't, then it will probably end up back in my hands and I'll never know. Maybe I should put a mark on the board just to see if I ever see this system again. Just for giggles. That would be kind of funny. 5 years down the line, get a water damaged system, crack it open, got my signature on the CPU. I might actually do that just because of the humor in it. I don't expect anything to come of it, but whoa, Nelly. Well, that's a GPM, but that's a Hyundai bus. The different types of buses that they use in these are kind of interesting, kind of fascinating. Oh, is that? No, that's not soldered to the board either. Cannot win for trying on that. I really would like the ones that are soldered to the board, and I'm just not going to get them. So I guess I have to accept that in my life. All right. 3 screws away, and we'll be done. And that will be 12 Super Famicoms and 2 Super Nintendos completely disabled. So disabled, disassembled. And then I'll do another video of putting them back together. It'll be kind of interesting because I have to figure it all out. Actually remembered the voltage regulator this time, which is nothing short of a Christmas miracle. And there we go. All right. For anyone who actually managed to stick through all that, thank you, and we'll keep going.